Dramily.com, unlimited drama series.
The crystal chandelier cast shadows across the mahogany table as I sat there, watching Howard Blackwood raise his glass with that predatory smile I'd grown to despise. 24 faces turned toward me, all wearing the same expression, anticipation mixed with barely concealed malice. "To my daughter Cora's engagement," Howard began, his voice carrying that boarding school authority that made grown men shrink. "And to her fiancé, David Chen." He paused, letting the moment stretch like a noose. A man who certainly knows an opportunity when he sees one. The laughter started as a ripple and built to a wave. Cora, my beautiful, ambitious Cora, joined in with that musical laugh I'd once loved. Her diamond ring caught the light as she covered her mouth, pretending embarrassment while her eyes sparkled with amusement. I set down my wine glass with deliberate care. The room fell silent. "You know what, Howard?" I stood slowly, my carpenter's hands steady as I reached into my jacket pocket. "You're absolutely right." I pulled out the engagement ring, the one I'd saved 6 months to afford, working double shifts on construction sites, while Cora climbed the ladder at her architectural firm. The 2-carat solitaire looked modest compared to the jewelry adorning the other women at the table, but it had cost me everything. I did see an opportunity. I placed the ring on the white tablecloth with a soft click. I saw the chance to marry someone I thought I loved, someone I believed loved me back. Cora's face went pale. "David, what are you—" "But you're right about one thing." I looked directly at Howard, then let my gaze sweep across every face at that table. "I am a gold digger. The difference is, I just realized there's no gold here worth digging for." The silence was absolute. Even the grandfather clock in the corner seemed to hold its breath. I walked out of that dining room, out of that house, and out of that life. Behind me, I heard the explosion of voices, Cora's sharp cry of my name, Howard's bellow of outrage. But I didn't look back. That was 8 months ago. Now, sitting in my studio apartment above Murphy's hardware store, I can still taste the satisfaction of that moment. The look on their faces, shock, embarrassment, the sudden realization that the hired help had just upstaged them at their own party. My phone buzzes. A text from my sister Jenna. "Saw Cora at the country club today. She looked miserable. You win." And I almost smile. Almost, because Jenna doesn't know what I know. She doesn't know about the phone call I received 3 nights ago from Tommy Brennan, drunk off his ass at McGillicuddy's Tavern. "Dave, you gotta hear this." Tommy had slurred into the phone at 2 in the morning. "You know that fancy boyfriend of your ex-wife's, Miles something, rich boy with the Tesla? What about him?" "Well, turns out they've been together a lot longer than 8 months. My cousin works at that hotel downtown, you know? Says they've been renting rooms there for over a year. Since before you two got engaged, man." The phone had gone quiet, except for Tommy's breathing and the bar noise in the background. "Dave, you there?" I was there. I was very much there. And for the first time since walking out of Howard Blackwood's dining room, I felt something other than resignation. And I felt interested. See, there's something people don't understand about carpenters. We're problem solvers. We look at a structure, figure out its weak points, and we know exactly where to apply pressure to bring the whole thing down. We understand leverage, stress points, and the precise amount of force needed to make something collapse. And right now, I'm looking at the structure of Cora's new life with Miles Worthington III, and I can see every single weak point. Miles isn't just Cora's lover. He's her business partner. When she left Howard's firm 6 months ago to start her own practice, Miles provided the startup capital. His trust fund money is backing her architectural dreams, funding the sleek downtown office with the glass walls and the imported furniture. But here's what Tommy's drunken revelation tells me. If they were together before our engagement, then Cora was planning her exit strategy while I was picking out rings. While I was working overtime to afford a wedding, she was already building her new life with someone else's money. That takes planning. That takes cold calculation. That takes someone who thinks they're smarter than everyone else. I finished my coffee and walked to the window overlooking Main Street. It's a gray October morning, the kind that makes this old New England town look like a postcard from hell. The leaves are turning, but instead of picturesque autumn colors, everything looks like it's rotting from the inside out. Perfect weather for what I'm about to do. My phone rings. The caller ID shows a number I don't recognize. "David? It's Sloan. Sloan Hartley? Cora's friend?" I know exactly who Sloan Hartley is. Blonde, sharp-tongued, married to a pharmaceutical executive and the unofficial queen of this town's social hierarchy. She was at that engagement dinner, laughing along with everyone else. What can I do for you, Sloan? I was wondering if we could meet for coffee. There are some things about Cora that I think you should know. Now this is interesting. What kind of things? The kind that are better discussed in person. How about Brewster's Cafe at 10? I check my watch. 9:30. I'll be there. Brewster's Cafe sits on the corner of Main and Elm, the kind of place where the coffee is strong and the gossip is stronger. I arrive 5 minutes early and claim a corner booth where I can watch the door. Old habits from my construction days: always know your exits, always see trouble coming. Sloan walks in at exactly 10 o'clock, dressed in what I'm sure is a carefully calculated outfit of designer jeans and a cashmere sweater that probably cost more than my monthly rent. She spots me immediately and approaches with that practiced smile that wealthy women perfect in finishing school. David! She slides into the booth across from me. Thank you for coming. Cut to the chase, Sloan. What's this about? She orders a skinny latte from the waitress, then leans forward with her elbows on the table. I know what you're thinking. That I'm here to gloat or to deliver some message from Cora. Aren't you? Actually, no. She pauses while the waitress brings her drink. I'm here because I think you got a raw deal, and I think you deserve to know the truth about what's been happening. I lean back in my seat, studying her face. Sloan Hartley doesn't do anything without an angle. The question is, what's hers? I'm listening. Cora's been telling people that you were financially abusive during your relationship, that you controlled her money, isolated her from her friends, made her feel trapped. The coffee turns bitter in my mouth. That's interesting, considering I was working 2 jobs to pay for our wedding while she was building her career with Daddy's connections. I know. And that's not even the worst part. Sloan glances around the cafe, then lowers her voice. She's been showing people photos. What kind of photos? Pictures of you with other women, at bars, at construction sites. She claims they prove you were cheating. I almost laugh. I worked construction. Half my crew were women. We went for drinks after work sometimes. So what? The photos are edited, cropped to look intimate. She's made it seem like you were having multiple affairs. Now I understand why some of my former friends have been avoiding me. Why my old mentor, Bill Henderson, crossed the street last week instead of saying hello. Cora hasn't just moved on. She's been systematically destroying my reputation. Why are you telling me this? Sloan stirs her latte, not meeting my eyes. Because I know what it's like to be on the receiving end of Cora's manipulations. Meaning she doesn't just destroy the men she's finished with. She destroys anyone who gets in her way. Sloan finally looks up, and for the first time, I see something real in her expression. Something that looks like fear. I made the mistake of questioning her relationship with Miles. Asked her if she was sure she was ready to move on so quickly after your engagement. And suddenly, rumors started circulating about my marriage, about alleged affairs, financial problems, drinking issues. None of it true, but in a town this size, rumors have a way of becoming facts. I'm starting to see the bigger picture. So this isn't about helping me. This is about revenge. This is about justice. Sloane's voice hardens. Cora thinks she can manipulate everyone around her, use people until they're no longer useful, then discard them. She's done it to you, she's doing it to me, and she'll do it to Miles when someone better comes along. What exactly are you proposing? Sloan reaches into her purse and pulls out a manila envelope. Everything I know about Cora and Miles, financial records, photos, emails, including proof that their relationship started long before your engagement ended. I stare at the envelope but don't reach for it. What do you want in return? I want her to face consequences for once in her privileged life. I want everyone to see who she really is. The envelope sits between us like a loaded weapon. Inside could be the ammunition I need to fight back, to clear my name, to make Cora pay for what she's done. But taking it means crossing a line, means becoming the kind of person who fights dirty. Then I think about the engagement dinner, about Cora's laugh when her father called me a gold digger, about the lies she's been spreading, the photos she's been showing, the systematic campaign to destroy my reputation while building her new life with Miles. I reach for the envelope. There's one more thing, Sloane says as I slide it into my jacket. The autumn gala is next weekend. Cora and Miles will be there, playing the happy couple. It's the perfect opportunity for public education. What kind of public education? The kind that involves a microphone and an audience full of everyone who matters in this town. Yeah, I finish my coffee and stand up. Thanks for the information, Sloane. I'll be in touch. David? She catches my arm as I turn to leave. Be careful. Cora's more dangerous than you think. I look down at her manicured fingers on my jacket sleeve. So am I. Yeah. Back in my apartment, I spread the contents of Sloane's envelope across my kitchen table. Bank statements showing transfers from Miles's trust fund to Cora's business account. Hotel receipts dating back 14 months. Email exchanges that make it clear their relationship was serious long before I proposed. But the most interesting items are the photographs. Not the ones Cora's been showing around town, but the real ones. Pictures of her and Miles at restaurants, at parties, at his condo. All time-stamped, all dated from when she and I were supposedly planning our future together. My phone rings. Jenna's name appears on the screen. Hey, big brother, how'd your mysterious coffee date go? Productive. How do you feel about doing a little investigative journalism? Depends. What kind of investigation? The kind that might win you a regional press award. There's a pause. I'm listening. Meet me at my place tonight, and bring your camera. Jenna arrives at 7, with a bottle of wine and her professional camera equipment. My sister is everything I'm not. Outgoing, charming, able to make friends with anyone. She's also the best investigative reporter this side of Boston, which is why she's stuck working for the local paper instead of the Globe. Okay, show me what you've got, she says, settling onto my couch with a glass of wine. I spread Sloane's evidence across the coffee table. Jenna whistles low as she examines the bank statements. Jesus, Dave. Miles has been funding her business from day one. Look at this. $50,000 for office space, $25,000 for equipment, another $30,000 for marketing. She's basically his kept woman. It gets better. I hand her the hotel receipts. They've been using the Riverside Inn for their romantic getaways. Same room every other Thursday for over a year. Jenna studies the dates, cross-referencing with her phone. This one is from the week before you proposed, and this is from 3 days after your engagement party, while I was working overtime to pay for the wedding she never intended to have. And this is good stuff, but it's not enough for a story. I need corroboration, witnesses, something more than financial records and hotel bills. I lean back in my chair, thinking, what if I told you I could get them to confess? On camera? How? Leave that to me. Your job is to be ready with the camera when they do. Jenna sets down her wine glass. Dave, what are you planning? I'm planning to give Cora and Miles exactly what they deserve, a chance to tell their side of the story. And if they don't want to talk? I smile, and it's not a nice expression. They'll talk. The next morning, I drive to Miles's condo complex on the north side of town. Riverside Towers is the kind of place where the parking spaces cost more than most people's cars. Miles's Tesla sits in spot 47, gleaming black paint reflecting the autumn sun. I park my pickup truck 3 spaces away and wait. At 8:30, Miles emerges from the building in his usual uniform of khakis and polo shirt, looking like he stepped out of a country club catalog. He's talking on his phone, probably to some investor or client, gesturing with his free hand. He doesn't notice me until I'm standing right beside his car. Miles, good morning. He freezes, phone halfway to his ear. David, what are you doing here? Wanted to congratulate you on your relationship with Cora. Though I guess congratulations are a little late, considering how long it's been going on. Miles glances around the parking lot, probably looking for witnesses or security cameras. I don't know what you're talking about. Sure you do. 14 months, right? That's when you two started your Thursday afternoon tradition at the Riverside Inn. The color drains from his face. You're crazy. Room 237. Always the same room. I'm guessing it has a nice view of the river. Miles's hand shakes as he tries to unlock his car. Stay away from me, David. And stay away from Cora. Or what? You'll call the police? Tell them what, exactly? That I know about your affair? It wasn't an affair. Cora broke up with you 8 months ago. But you two have been together for over a year. I step closer, and Miles backs against his car. That makes it an affair, Miles. That makes Cora a liar and you a homewrecker. You can't prove anything. I pull out my phone and show him one of the hotel receipts. Actually, I can prove everything. The question is, what are you going to do about it? Miles stares at the receipt, his face cycling through confusion, fear, and anger. Where did you get that? Does it matter? What matters is what happens next. What do you want? I want the truth. I want everyone in this town to know what kind of people you and Cora really are. And if we don't cooperate, I lean against his Tesla, running my hand along the pristine paint job. Then I start sharing what I know with everyone who will listen, starting with your business partners and ending with the society page of the local paper. Miles fumbles with his keys, finally managing to unlock the car. You're insane. No, Miles, I'm motivated. There's a difference.
90 days of calls to the same number. You bought a burner for her.
Give it to me.
One reason not to drop it.
Watch more on Grammarly.com.
He gets into the Tesla and starts the engine, but I don't move away from the car. He rolls down the window. What? Tell Cora the first said hello, and tell her we need to talk, all three of us. She won't meet with you. She will. Because if she doesn't, everyone in town is going to know about the money you've been funneling to her business. Everyone's going to know about the hotel rooms, and the lies, and the engagement that was a sham from the beginning. Miles drives away without another word, but I can see him making a phone call before he's even out of the parking lot. My phone rings 20 minutes later. You bastard! Cora's voice is tight with fury. What did you say to Miles? Hello, Cora. Nice to hear from you too. What do you want? I want to talk, face to face, tonight. I'm not meeting with you alone. Bring Miles. Bring whoever you want. McGillicuddy's Tavern, 8 o'clock. Why would I agree to that? Because if you don't, tomorrow morning everyone in town is going to know the truth about your relationship, including your father. There's a long silence. You're bluffing. Try me. Another silence, longer this time. 8 o'clock. But if you try anything, what? You'll call the police? Tell them I'm harassing you with facts? The line goes quiet. She's hung up. I called Jenna. It's on. Tonight at 8. Be ready. Dave, are you sure about this? I've never been more sure of anything in my life. McGillicuddy's Tavern is the kind of place where construction workers drink beer after work, and nobody asks questions about why you're there. The lighting is dim. The music is loud enough to cover conversations, and the owner, Pat McGillicuddy, has known me since I was 16 and sneaking drinks with fake ID. I arrive at 7:30 and claim a booth in the back corner. Jenna is already there, sitting at the bar with her camera equipment in a gym bag at her feet. She nods slightly when she sees me, but doesn't acknowledge me otherwise. At exactly 8 o'clock, Cora walks in. She's dressed down for the occasion, jeans and a sweater instead of her usual designer outfits. But she still looks out of place among the regulars. Miles follows a few steps behind, looking like he'd rather be anywhere else on Earth. They spot me and approach the booth. Cora slides in across from me while Miles remains standing. Sit down, Miles. This might take a while. He reluctantly takes the seat next to Cora, as far from me as possible. Okay, Cora says, folding her hands on the table. We're here. What do you want? I want the truth. I want you to admit that you were with Miles while we were engaged. That's not. I have hotel receipts, Cora. Bank records. Photos. I know about the money Miles has been giving you, about the Thursday afternoon meetings, about everything. Cora glances at Miles, who's staring at the table. So what? We fell in love. These things happen. While you were wearing my ring. While you were planning our wedding. While I was working double shifts to pay for a future that you knew would never happen. I tried to tell you. When? When did you try to tell me? I was going to break up with you before the engagement party. But then your sister got sick, and you were so stressed. Jenna was sick for 2 days. 2 days, Cora. That was your excuse for stringing me along for months? Miles finally speaks up. Look, David, we never meant for it to happen this way. Really, because it looks pretty intentional from where I'm sitting. The hotel room reservations, the business funding, the careful timing of everything. It wasn't like that, Cora says, but her voice lacks conviction. Then what was it like? Explain it to me. Cora looks around the bar, clearly uncomfortable with the setting and the conversation. Miles and I met at a business conference. We connected professionally first, then personally. By the time I realized what was happening, you and I were already engaged. So you decided to have both, the stable fiancé and the exciting lover. I was confused. I didn't know what I wanted, but you knew you wanted Miles's money for your business. Miles straightens up. That was a legitimate business investment. Was it? Because it looks like you were paying for access to your business partner's bed. That's enough, Cora snaps. You don't get to judge us. You don't get to sit there acting like the victim when you were just as bad. How was I just as bad? The other women, the drinking, the way you tried to control everything about our relationship. I lean back in the booth, genuinely surprised. What other women? Don't play dumb. I have photos. You mean the photos of me with my coworkers? The ones you cropped and edited to make it look like something it wasn't? Cora's face goes pale. I don't know what you're talking about. Sure you do. Just like you know about the lies you've been telling people, about how I was financially abusive, how I isolated you from your friends. I never said. Yes, you did. You've been systematically destroying my reputation while building your new life with Miles. The question is, why? Why not just leave? Why the character assassination? Cora and Miles exchange glances. There's something they're not telling me, some piece of the puzzle I'm missing. Because, Miles says quietly, we needed people to think you were the problem. Why? Because of the prenup, Cora whispers. Now we're getting somewhere. What prenup? The one my father insisted on. If I left you for someone else, if I was unfaithful, I'd lose my inheritance. But if you were abusive, if you were cheating, then the prenup was void. Everything clicks into place. The photos, the lies, the careful campaign to make me look like the villain. It wasn't just about moving on. It was about money. It was always about money. So you needed me to be the bad guy. You needed everyone to believe I was a cheater and an abuser, so you could access Daddy's trust fund. It wasn't supposed to go this far, Miles says. We just needed a few witnesses, some documentation for the lawyers. But then you got carried away, started believing your own lies. Cora's voice is barely audible. I'm sorry, David. I never wanted to hurt you. But you did hurt me. You destroyed my reputation, cost me friendships, made me question everything about our relationship. I know. I'm sorry. I look at these two people, the woman I once loved and the man who stole her, and I feel something unexpected. Not anger, not even satisfaction, just sadness. You know what the funny thing is? I say. I would have let you go. If you'd just been honest, if you'd just told me the truth, I would have stepped aside. You didn't need to destroy me to be happy, David. I stand up. But you did destroy me, or you tried to, and now everyone's going to know the truth. I nod toward the bar, where Jenna has been recording everything on her phone. She gives me a thumbs up. You recorded us? Miles jumps to his feet. That's illegal. Actually, it's not. Massachusetts is a one-party consent state. As long as one person in the conversation agrees to the recording, it's perfectly legal. Cora stares at me in horror. What are you going to do with it? I'm going to clear my name. I'm going to make sure everyone knows what really happened between us. Please, she whispers. My career, my business. Should have thought of that before you decided to destroy mine. I walk away from the table, leaving them sitting there in shock. At the bar, I stop beside Jenna. Did you get everything? Every word. This is going to make one hell of a story. Good. Run it. Are you sure? Once this comes out, there's no going back. I look over at Cora and Miles, huddled together in the booth, probably planning their next move. I'm sure. Outside the bar, the October night is cold and clear. For the first time in months, I feel like I can breathe. My phone buzzes. A text from an unknown number. Well played. But this isn't over. Nisness. Sloan. I'd almost forgotten about her role in all this. I text back. Yes, it is. But as I drive home through the empty streets, I can't shake the feeling that she's right. This isn't over. It's just beginning. The story breaks on Thursday morning. Jenna's article, Local Architect's Web of Deception, runs on the front page of the Herald, with photos, audio transcripts, and a detailed timeline of Cora and Miles's affair. By noon, it's been picked up by 3 regional papers and shared hundreds of times on social media. My phone hasn't stopped ringing. Reporters, old friends, former coworkers, everyone wants to know my side of the story. I let them all go to voicemail. At 2 o'clock, there's a knock on my door. I open it to find Howard Blackwood standing in the hallway, looking older than I've ever seen him. Howard, what can I do for you? May I come in? I step aside and let him enter. He looks around my small apartment, taking in the second-hand furniture and the bare walls. I owe you an apology, he says without preamble. Do you? I was wrong about you. About your motives, about your character. I let my prejudices cloud my judgment. I gesture to the couch. Sit down. You want some coffee? Please. I pour 2 cups and join him on the couch. Howard looks exhausted, defeated. I read the article this morning, listened to the audio. I had no idea what Cora was doing. She's your daughter. You raised her. I raised her to be strong, independent, to go after what she wanted. I didn't raise her to be cruel. Didn't you? That engagement dinner was pretty cruel. Howard winces. I thought I was protecting her. I thought you were after her money. I was never after her money. I was after her. I know that now. He sets down his coffee cup. What can I do to make this right? Nothing. It's done. The prenup is between you and Cora. I don't want any part of it. Howard studies my face. You really don't, do you? You could have taken her for everything. The evidence you have, the recordings, you could have destroyed her financially as well as socially. I'm not interested in destroying anyone. I just wanted the truth to come out. Why? I think about it for a moment. Because lies have weight. They pile up on you, make it hard to move forward. I needed to clear the air so I could breathe again. Howard nods slowly. You're a better man than I gave you credit for. I'm just a man who got tired of being lied about. After Howard leaves, I walk downtown to pick up groceries. The reactions I get are mixed. Some people nod and smile, others cross the street to avoid me. At the market, Mrs. Patterson, who's lived here for 60 years, stops me in the produce section. I always knew that girl was trouble, she says, squeezing a tomato. Too pretty, too ambitious. Girls like that always leave a trail of broken hearts. She's not evil, Mrs. Patterson. She just made some bad choices. You're more charitable than I'd be. That evening, Jenna calls. The story's gone viral. I've had calls from reporters in Boston, New York, even CNN wants to do a segment. Tell them no. Dave, this could be huge for both of us. Your story, my reporting? I said no. I don't want to be famous for this. But, Jenna, no. She sighs. Okay, but the local response has been overwhelmingly positive. People are calling you brave, honest, a victim of manipulation. I'm not a victim. I'm just someone who got lied to and decided to do something about it. That's what makes you brave. Friday morning brings another knock on my door. This time it's Miles, looking haggard and desperate. We need to talk. No, we don't. Please, 5 minutes. Against my better judgment, I let him in. Cora's business is finished, he says immediately. 3 clients canceled yesterday, 2 more this morning. The bank is calling in her loan. I'm sorry to hear that. Are you? Really? I consider the question honestly. Yeah, I am. I never wanted her to fail professionally. I just wanted people to know the truth about our relationship. The truth is going to destroy her. The lies were destroying me. At least now we're even. Miles runs his hands through his hair. She's talking about leaving town. Starting over somewhere else. Maybe that's for the best. Is it? She made mistakes. But does she deserve to have her entire life ruined? I didn't ruin her life, Miles. She ruined it herself when she chose to lie about me instead of just being honest about your relationship. She was scared. Her father, the prenup, the expectations, everyone's scared of something. That doesn't give you the right to destroy other people. Miles looks around my apartment, taking in the modest surroundings. What do you want? Money? An apology? What would it take for you to make this go away? It can't go away. The truth is out there now. People know what happened. But you could issue a statement, say you forgive her, that you've both moved on. I shake my head. I'm not going to help you clean up this mess. You and Cora created it together. You can deal with the consequences together. Miles stands up to leave, then turns back. For what it's worth, I think she really did love you, in her own way. Maybe, but love without honesty isn't really love at all. After Miles leaves, I sit on my couch and think about love, about honesty, about the choices we make and the prices we pay for them. My phone rings, another reporter, but I don't answer. Outside my window, the town goes about its business. People walk their dogs, drive to work, live their lives. The scandal that's consumed my world for the past week is already becoming old news for most of them, and that's fine with me. I never wanted to be the center of attention. I just wanted to be able to walk down the street without wondering who was talking about me behind my back, who believed Cora's lies, who thought I was something I wasn't. Now they know the truth. What they do with that knowledge is up to them. My phone buzzes with a text from an unknown number. You win this round, but games like this have a way of continuing. S. Sloan again. I delete the message without responding. Some games are worth playing. Others aren't worth the price of admission. I'm done playing games. Saturday morning, I drive out to the lake where Cora and I used to go on weekends. It's quiet this time of year. The summer crowd's gone. The water dark and still. I sit on the old pier, and watched the sun come up over the water. This is where I proposed to her. Right here, on this pier, with the morning light turning the lake to gold. She said yes, kissed me, told me she'd never been happier. Maybe she meant it in that moment. Maybe the lies came later, born out of fear and pressure and the weight of expectations. Or maybe she was already planning her exit strategy, already thinking about Miles and his money, and the life she really wanted. It doesn't matter now. What matters is that I'm free. Free from the lies, free from the doubt, free from the weight of other people's expectations. I pull out my phone and delete all the voicemails from reporters, all the texts from people wanting to know more details, all the electronic debris of this whole mess. Then I drive home to start figuring out what comes next. The truth has set me free. Now I need to decide what to do with that freedom. But first, I'm going to finish my coffee and enjoy the silence. Because after 8 months of noise and chaos and lies, silence sounds pretty good. No steimo. November 14th, 2025, 0 hours, 55 minutes, and 36 seconds.